Hello, welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a Geoguessr World Cup 2024 prediction. So the World Cup starts tomorrow in about 12 hours from now, probably a little less. I'm not too sure. There we go, 12 hours and 11 minutes. I'm looking forward to it. Should be good fun. I believe tomorrow is Group A and Group B. 11th September, that's tomorrow. We are going to do a prediction for Group A, B, C, D, and the knockout stages. So that's so the knockout stages are played between second and third place from each of the groups. The quarterfinals, the semi-finals, and the grand finals for all the marbles. So yeah, let's just jump into Group A. Group A is a very strong group in my opinion. Consus, Blinky, probably the two favourites. I don't think that's controversial to say. I don't really know too much about how Consus is like at the moment. I think the last time I've even seen him play was last year at the World Cup. Obviously, he was probably the most consistent performer. Obviously, he lost in the final to Blinky, who is also in this group, as we can see. And they are the first game as well. They have the first game tomorrow. That one will be one you don't want to miss. But for me, the toss-up here is who wins the group? Is it Blinky or is it Consus? And personally, I think it's going to be Blinky. I think Blinky is going to win the group. I won't be surprised if he doesn't lose a match. And that's nothing against the other players in the group. He's just that good. He's just that good. So I wouldn't be surprised if Blinky goes unbeaten, to be honest. I mean, yeah, anyway. Second place, therefore, I have put Consus. I think he's I mean, even though I haven't seen him play for the last year, I don't think he's not going to be one of the best. You know what I mean? Like, I think every player has, on average, improved. Like, the average player ability is insane compared to last year. But I mean, I still think Consus is Consus, you know what I mean? You can never count him out. He's him. He's him. He's that guy. So, for me, second is Consus. Now, third place is probably one of the tougher positions in this group to predict. For me, personally, it's between two players. It's between Sheena from Japan and Finbar from Ireland. Honestly, I think both have the ability to get third, 100%. However, I'm going to give it to Finbar in this case, because I think was Finbar at the last World Cup? I can't remember. I know Sheena was. And I think Sheena underperformed a bit because of the pressure from being at a land event, and it's probably quite stressful with all the lights and everything. I think that's something I've heard Sheena has struggled with. But in the wildcard number 3, I believe, when Sheena was playing from home, which MK won, Sheena got to the finals and lost to MK. Sheena was, I mean, they played amazing. I mean, they were playing at like early hours in the morning because, you know, being in Japan, it's big time difference when it was centered around European time. So honestly, I think Sheena definitely has the ability to get that third spot, but I think it's going to come down to the pressure. I think And I think just from what I've seen in the past, I think I'm gonna back Finbar over Sheena in this case. Honestly, could go either way in my opinion. As for 5th and 6th, I don't really know. I don't really know too much about Swan Gambit, to be honest. I know they made it in through the Polish wildcard, which was the first wildcard they did, and I believe CG Chicago Geographer was 5th in the Americas qualifier, and I think on paper those, like, the Polish wildcard was probably the weakest wildcard out of all of the wildcards in terms of just the competition. Nothing against Swan Gambit. And I think also, CG was the last qualifier from the Americas region. So, and I think the Americas region, the American region qualifiers was probably the weakest of the qualifiers, I think. I don't know, because I mean, I don't really know. I didn't really know too many of the players, at least, but I don't know. But I've put Swan Gambit 5th, CG 6th. Nothing against either of them. I think they're both insane players. Obviously, they wouldn't be at the World Cup if they weren't. And honestly, the main reason why they're 5th and 6th is because I don't know as much about them as I know about, well, the other 4 players, to be honest. And a lot of that is probably definitely recency bias. Like, you know, like I've seen Sheena play not too long ago. Finbar I haven't seen play in a while, but I know he's insane at Russia, and Russia diff is gonna be, I mean, come on, if you're good at Russia, you stand, you know, that's a pretty good advantage to have. Consus is just obviously insane, and Blinky as well. Like, Blinky does 5k in like 20 seconds on like the most random ass location ever. So, yeah, I think I've got Swan Gambit 5th, CG 6th. They could be pushing it. They could be challenging for that 3rd position, to be fair. I mean, I can't discount them. But I mean, it's just a prediction. It's nothing that serious. But that's the group. So to recap, Group A, 1st place we got Blinky, 2nd place we got Consus, 3rd is Finbar, 4th is Sheena, 5th Swan Gambit, and 6th CG Chicago Geographer. So that would mean Blinky, Consus, and Finbar progress into the next rounds, which I don't feel too bad about. I think that's a very reasonable prediction, especially the Blinky Consus. And I don't think Finbar is that wild of a shout either to get that 3rd spot, you know? But this is a really tough group. Really, really tough group. Probably the second best group in my opinion, in terms of just how good the players are, in my opinion. So yeah, that's my prediction for Group A. So let's move on to Group B, which, Jesus Christ, I think this is by far the hardest group. I mean, if any of these players made it through to the like knockout stage or the quarterfinals, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised, completely candid. If, I mean, whoever I've got in 6th, which you will find out, like, no disrespect, like, you, like, in any other group, you would be easily challenging, if not being a secure pick to get to the next round. But unfortunately, only 3 of them can make it. And so let's just get it out of the way. Let's just get 1st place out of the way. This is probably the hardest prediction, this top 3. Some bias, definitely some bias going on here. 1st place, I got bad at Geoguessr. If you can't tell, I'm from England. Bag is from the United Kingdom. I'm pretty sure he's Scottish though. I think Bag. I mean, he played in the last wildcard tournament against Harrier, Harmless, and Trickster. He reverse swept Harmless in the final. That's pretty insane. He's definitely got the bottle. You know, he's got the nerve to. I think he can handle the pressure. I mean, that would be crazy. I mean, yeah. So I think he's definitely got the skill. I definitely do. But honestly, this group is a bit of a dice roll. Like, I think they've all got the skill to go really far in this tournament. But I've got Bag taking first place. Maybe there's a bit of bias there. You know, recency bias, in-group bias by the fact that he's from the UK and so am I. But that's my prediction for first place. Second place, I've got Topotic. Topotic is a really strong player. I mean, I haven't seen him play since the European qualifiers. Well, the EMEA, right, is what it was, right? Europe, Middle East, Africa. Although I think it was only Europeans. Topotic won that. You know, that was like 7 months ago. So that's quite a while ago. 6-7 months ago. But I mean, I think Topotic's a really good player from Spain. So I think he can definitely. I think he can go far for sure. I think he will get out of the group, which, I mean, I think if you make it out of Group B, like, no matter what happens after that, you've done good. You've done good. And in third place, I've gone for a bit of a probably the more outsider pick out of the rest of the players, maybe. I've gone with Orlando. A bit different. I don't know what it was. I don't really know too much about Orlando, to be honest. But there was something. I was just looking at. For me, third place was between Orlando and Debray. And that's not to discount Zigzag or Crooks, but for some reason, it was a 50-50 between Debray and Orlando for me. And I ended up going with Orlando. I don't really know why, to be honest. It was just a pick. This is just something about. Maybe it's just his name. I don't know. It looks cool to look at. It's cool to look at. I don't know. It's just a vibe. But honestly, if Debray made it, I would be not surprised. I think Debray has definitely got the ability. I think it's honestly a shame that he's got Group B because, I mean, I think in most other groups, I'm pretty sure he would. I mean, I'm just looking at the rest of the groups. I think he makes it out of the group stage in any other group, to be completely honest. So it's a shame that I've got him in fourth. But I would be really happy if he did make it out of the group, to be honest. I do like Debray. Fun personality, and obviously really good at the game. So I wouldn't be surprised, and I would also be happy if he did. Fifth place, I have Zigzag. I mean, I'm sure everyone knows who Zigzag is. You know, one of the more successful YouTube channels related to Geoguessr. It was obviously in the center of the game. Been putting in loads of practice. Unfortunately, he's got a bad role. You know, it's unlucky he's got Group B. I think he could seriously challenge to make it out of the other groups for sure. But I think Group B is just too strong, unfortunately. It's unfortunate because I would love to see Zigzag like go on a massive run. Maybe maybe I'm taking the fact that, you know, I see the content creation side of Zigzag more than his competitive side. So maybe that's a bit of bias on my part. Maybe I'm underestimating him. Maybe, hopefully, because I would like to see the Zigzag do well. But I've got him 5th. Yeah, I mean, as I said before, I could literally see anyone in this group making top 3. So it's unfortunate. 3 people have got to leave. Only 3 can make it. Unfortunately, Zigzag, in my prediction, you have not. And then 6th, therefore, we have Cruxed. And Crux is one of those players that I don't think many people know too much about, at least not unless you're in the pro scene. I know he's like a former Minecraft speedrunner. I don't know if he still plays or not, but he's probably going to be one of, I think he's going to be one of the biggest unknowns. Like, I think he definitely can make it. I mean, how did he qualified from the European one, right? What place did he finish? Oh, there he was. 9 to 10. That's maybe not too representative of how good he actually is. I'm not really too sure, to be honest. So I've got him in 6th, but it wouldn't really surprise me if he finished, 4th, 3rd. Like, that wouldn't surprise me at all. But I've got him 6th. I don't know. We'll see. Let's move on to Group C now. Oh, I guess I'll give a quick recap of Group B. I've got 1st place Bag, 2nd place Topotic, 3rd place Orlando, 4th place Debris, 5th Zigzag, and 6th Cruxed. But I do want to stress again, if any of these players finish in the top 3, I would not be surprised. That would not come as a shock. But let's move to Group C. I think Group C is probably, I think it's the third place in terms of difficulty. Group B being 1st, Group A being 2nd, Group C being 3rd, and Group D being the easiest. I don't think any of these groups are particularly easy, so to speak. But there are some very good players in this group. You don't need to, just take a look at number 6 right there. You got RC. He won wildcard number. Wait, he won wildcard number 3. MK won number 2. Oh my god. Am I tripping? Which one did RC win? RC won number 2. MK won number 3. Okay. Sorry. They were like really close in terms of when they were done, I believe. I got confused. Yeah. RC. He's insane. He's winning the group. Like, no disrespect to anyone in this group. He's winning the group. Okay, he's winning the group. Done. Right, easy. Got that one out of the way. 2nd place. Now, this is probably the group I know the least about in terms of, strengths, weaknesses, maybe like how good they are, like how they compare to other players in the other groups. So for this one, I've kind of just guessed. I've taken into account some of what I do know though. So I believe Crania is a more an NPZ focused player. Obviously I'm sure they've practiced a lot of both, and I could be completely wrong. They won the APAC, the Asian, whatever the rest of it is, qualifier. So I think they're going to be a strong contender. Jake Lyons, I'm not too convinced. I don't know, to be honest. I think their strengths lie in moving, but I wouldn't particularly say they're one of the better moving players. Like, amongst the moving players, I don't think. I don't really know. I think they're probably the weakest player in this group. If I had to pick, which I have. Sorry, Jake Lyons, you're finishing 6th in this group. No disrespect, you would destroy me in Geoguessr, I am sure. But someone's got to finish last, and unfortunately, that's you. I've gone a bit crazy here. I've gone first down to 6th. I'm just going, but anyway, let's go through to the next player. Kratsu. Kratsu, I believe, as is most of the French Geoguessr community, very good moving player. And I think that's going to be really important in this World Cup. I mean, he finished 2nd in the European qualifiers. That's kind of insane. When you look at the competition that he beat, finishing 2nd is crazy. Very, very strong player. Armani, I believe they are an NMPZ focused player like Caronia. I think they finished 9 to 10 in the European qualifiers. I don't really know a whole lot about Armani, to be honest. I'm sure he's a great player. We'll see how he does. And then Spaghetti, I know even less. I didn't actually watch the Asian qualifiers. I don't even know if they have a particular strength. It's moving, no move, NMPZ. I have no idea. So for me, they're just a guess, to be honest. I think they did okay in the Asian qualifier. I can't remember what position they got, but yeah. Okay, let's go through my ranking on where I think they're going to finish. So as I've already mentioned, RC number 1. Need I say more? 2nd, I've got Corania. I think they're, I don't know. I'm just guessing, to be honest. They just seem like they're going to be really good. Based on what? Nothing, other than the fact that they won the APAC. 3rd, I've got Kratsu. Honestly, I could see Kratsu finishing 2nd and Corania finishing 3rd. Or Kratsu finishing 2nd and like any of the other players finishing 3rd, to be honest. I don't really know. Kratsu, I think the moving is going to be really, really key. I think it's going to play a significant role in the whole tournament. So I think Kratsu is going to do pretty well. And I think they will definitely get out of the group. I think they will. There's something about the vibe. They just have a vibe that they're not going to get grouped. You know, they will make it past the groups. I don't know why. I just feel like they will. 4th place, I have Armani. Yeah, I don't know. Just a guess. 5th place, I've got Spaghetti again. Just a guess. And Jake Lyons again, I've got 6th. It's just a guess. Obviously, these are all guesses, but less so than some other guesses like Blinky and Consus finishing top 2 in Group A. You know, it's an educated guess. This one is just a random guess, to be honest. So, yeah, RC 1st, Crania 2nd, Kratsu 3rd, Armani 4th, Spaghetti 5th, Jake Lyons 6th. Okay, let's move on to the last group, Group D. I think this is probably the weakest group, if I had to guess. I mean, again, this is speaking from an outsider's perspective, someone that watches, that doesn't play competitive, is not good enough to play competitive. To me, it looks like the weakest, but again, there's quite a few players I don't know too much about. Like, I don't know much about Mada, to be honest, or Jinji. I know a decent a decent bit about the others. So we'll see. Let's just jump straight in. I mean, this is probably recency biased. First place, I've got MK. He looked really dominant in that wildcard number 3. He looked so dominant. Beat unit in the finals. That was a close match. But MK looked really, really good. So I found it hard not seeing him finish top 2. To be honest, I can't see him not finishing top 2. Second place, I've got Foul. Obviously, they have World Cup experience from last year. They obviously were someone last year that I think took a lot of people by surprise. They were a bit of an unknown, maybe, or at least people just didn't expect them to. I mean, what? Semi-finals was it? I mean, that's incredible, right? So, I mean, I can't imagine. I haven't seen much of them playing since the World Cup, like at all. But I don't know. They have an aura about them. I can see them getting second place. To be honest, I can see them also getting first. That's why I said MK minimum top 2, because I think it's probably going to be either MK or Foul finishing top 2. But I've got MK finishing first, Foul finishing second. In third place, now, okay, right, okay. Honestly, third place was a big toss-up between like 2, low-key 3, maybe low-key 4 players. The other 4 players. For me, in my mind, I think personally, I see the 2 favourites to take the third place spot being Kodiak or Eamon. But I think Mada and Gingy are also really good players. So I think they could also get that third place spot. I wouldn't be surprised. But in my head, I'm leaning more towards Kodiak or Eamon than I am Gingy or Mada. And for that reason, I've got Kodiak and Eamon in the 3rd and 4th spot, and Gingy and Mada in the 5th and 6th spot, in that order. So I've got Kodiak finishing 3rd, Eamon finishing 4th, Gingy finishing 5th, and Mada finishing 6th. Now, Kodiak Eamon was a huge 50-50 for me, but for some reason, Kodiak just has this aura. I don't know what it is. I think their name looks really cool too, to be fair. But I just can't see Kodiak not making it out the groups. I don't know why. I just can't see it. Not happening. So that's why I've got Kodiak 3rd. Nothing Geoguessr based, just purely just vibes. Eamon finishing 4th. I mean, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he makes top 3 either. It's quite a fun group, to be honest. I think people maybe overlook it because it is probably the weakest on paper, but I think it's quite a fun group. Lots of representation too. You know, Canada in there. We got some Italy. The only we've got the only Italian, German, and New Zealand and Canadian player, right? Did I already say Canadian? I don't know. It's a pretty fun group. As for 5th and 6th, I've got Gingy finishing 5th and Mada finishing 6th. There's nothing really to base that decision on other than just vibes. But yeah, I mean, I don't really know, to be honest. So that's what I've gone with. So to recap, Group D, we got 1st MK, 2nd Foul, Kodiak 3rd, Eamon 4th, Gingy 5th, and Mada 6th. Let's move on to the knockout stage. This is exciting. So, first of all, we're going to have this knockout stage, which is played between the players that finish 2nd and 3rd in their group. So, the first knockout game is Group A second place versus Group B third place, which, according to my predictions thus far, will be Consus versus Orlando. Sorry, Orlando, but I've got Consus taking this one. Unlucky. Better luck next year, because unlucky, you know. So yeah, Consus I think is going to win that one. Yeah, insane player. Knockout number 2 is played between Group B second place and Group A third place. And for my predictions thus far, that would be Topotic versus Finbar. And honestly, I think this is a really fun matchup. I think it's actually quite close, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes to a game 5. Well, yeah, game 5, round 5, map 5, whatever you want to call it. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. I could see it. I'm assuming they'll be playing best at 5s. I didn't mention this. I don't know what format they're playing in the groups. But I'm assuming by the knockout stage they will definitely be playing best at 5s. I kind of hope they are for the groups, but they also have a lot of games to get through. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's best of 3, but that kind of sucks. I'd prefer best of 5, obviously. So it'd be move, no move, move, no move, and then PZ. Hopefully, best of 5. All of my predictions are kind of based around the best of 5 being the games being best of 5. But I'm sure by the knockout stage they will definitely be best out of 5. I wouldn't be surprised if this knockout 2 Topotic versus Finbar went to a game of best game 5. I think they're both insane players. And I've got Finbar winning this one, which is probably the more outsider pick, I guess. I think Topotic is probably the more favourite out of the 2, if you were to ask the community. Topotic or Finbar, who will win? I think Finbar. Yeah, that's my prediction. I don't really have much more to say, other than I think that's going to be an absolute banger of a match. If that does come true, if that is the knockout, that would be a banger. Or if we see that match anywhere in the tournament, it's going to be a banger, I think. Knockout number 3 is played between Group D second place and Group C third place. So according to my predictions, that would be Foul versus Kratzu, and that I think that would also be a banger of a game too. And I mentioned it before when I was talking about Kratzu. I think the moving is going to be really important in this World Cup, especially if this will be best of 5, I'm sure. So that's minimum 2 moving rounds. I think that's a big advantage almost. Now, I think Foul is pretty good at moving. I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure he's really good at all game modes, to be honest. But I think I've personally given this one to Kratzu. That's a tough one, to be honest. I could see that going to game 5, in which case I think I would probably give it to Foul. I could see it literally being Kratzu wins the moving, Foul wins the no move, and then PZ at 5. But I've given it to Kratzu. Honestly, though, that could go either way. I think that's gonna be a banger match though. Knockout match 4, we have Group C second place versus Group D third place, which, according to my predictions, will be Corania versus Kodiak. Yeah, this is again, I don't know too much about Crania, but there's something about the name. There's something about the vibe. Something about the energy they emit. I don't know. I've got them winning. I don't know. Why not? Why not? Unlucky. Kodiak. Seriously though, I don't know. That's a tough one, in my opinion, but I'm giving it to Crania. Kodiak is a very strong all-round player though, so again, I wouldn't be surprised if Kodiak takes that. But I've given it to Crania. Right, we are done with the knockouts. We are now moving on to the quarterfinals. So, the first quarterfinal match is between the winner of Group A and the winner of Knockout Game 2. So, my winner of Group A was, where is it? There, Blinky. Yeah, Blinky. Yeah. And my winner of the Knockout Game 2 was Finbar. I had Finbar beating Topotic. So, Blinky versus Finbar for the quarterfinal 1. I think that's going to be actually a good game. I think it's going to be probably closer than maybe what people would think. But in the end, I do have Blinky winning. The Blinky aura, the Blinky effect. I don't know. I think Blinky is just too good. Too good to not take that one. Yeah. I mean, Finbar making it to the quarterfinals is kind of crazy, to be honest. So I think that would be a very good result for them. Quarterfinal 2, we have the winner of Group C versus the winner of Knockout Games 3. So that is RC as the winner of Group C, and Kratsu as the winner of Knockout Game 3. So I had them beating Foul in the knockout stage. So RC versus Kratsu. I think RC is just too good. I think he's too good. RC wins that one for me. I would like to say I think it would be close, but honestly I think RC is too good that it wouldn't be. Unfortunately for Kratsu, but hey, quarterfinal stage, losing to RC, I would be happy. I would be happy to even make it, but I don't think you could be too mad if you lost to RC in the quarterfinals, to be honest. So yeah, I got RC winning that one. Quarterfinal 3 is the winner of Group B versus the winner of Knockout Game 1, which, by the way, absolute banger if we go by my predictions. So script writers, take notes, because I've got Bag versus Consus. What a banger. What an absolute banger. Bag versus Consus. And I feel like I've been fairly safe with my predictions thus far. I think I've been fairly safe. I think, I've got the favourites going through, and I think it's time we spice things up. So, I've got Bag winning this over Consus. Okay, I got Bag winning against Consus. And that's not necessarily the outrageous prediction, not the crazy take. I think the crazy take my crazy take is I don't think it matters who Consus plays. He's not making it past the quarterfinals. I said it. He's not making it past the quarterfinals. That is outrageous. I know, because Consus is that guy. He is him. But I don't think it matters who he plays. I think he will lose in the quarterfinals. Hey, I said it. Yeah, that's completely outrageous. I mean, I think if I heard someone else say that, I would say you are an idiot. But I said it, and I'm an idiot, so that's fair. But it just so happens that that my predictions have Bag against Consus in the quarterfinals, which makes it. And when I say I think Bag's going to win, I also want Bag to win too. So it's definitely biased, but a little bit. I don't think it's such an outrageous take saying Bag could beat Consus, but I think saying that whoever Consus faces in the quarterfinals, if he even makes it there, I think he will. But I think whoever Consus faces in the quarterfinal stage will beat Consus, which is crazy to say. I know. But I've said it now. That's my outrageous take for my prediction. That's my very out there prediction. We'll see if it comes true. I mean, I'm not here praying that it's going to come true. I like Consus. I have nothing against the guy. You know, he's obviously in the same player, but I don't know. There's something about it. I just can't see it for some reason. I can't see him making the semis or the finals. Anyway, the final 4, we have MK versus Karania, or the winner of Group D, which was MK, versus the winner of Knockout Game 4, which was Karania. And in my opinion, MK sweeps. Okay, maybe not sweeps, but MK wins, for sure, I think. I don't know. I think MK is a really, really good player. And, yeah, sorry, Karania, I don't really know too much about you. Definitely some bias, some recency bias, because I've seen MK play not too long ago. I've never seen Karania play. So, there you go. I mean, I still had you go into the quarterfinals, even though I've never seen you play, so that's quite something. But yeah, I've got MK winning that one. Probably not a sweep, but probably a 3-1. I'm not doing score predictions for all the games, but you can have that one. 3-1 to MK. Why not? Moving on to the semi-finals, we now have okay, this is where it's a bit annoying for me. I can play out predictions here because they haven't really specified which, like, how like, you know, like which players will play against who, if that makes sense. Like, semi-final 1 is just to be decided for both players. You know, it's not like it's not like the winner of quarterfinal 1 versus the winner of quarterfinal 3, for example. It doesn't specify. However, I'm just going based on it being like a bracket. So, you know, it would be the winner of quarterfinal 1 versus quarterfinal 2 in semi-final 1, and then the winner of quarterfinal 3 versus the winner of quarterfinal 4 in semi-final 2. That's kind of how it's laid out. That's how it looks. So that's what I've done my predictions based on. So for semi-final 1, it would be Blinky versus RC, which obviously an insane game. That's mental. That is a mental game. And even though Blinky is the world champ, you know, wait, did Blinky win? No, they got second, right? Consus won. I feel like I said earlier that Consus got second, but that's just wrong. Consus won. Obviously he did. Why did I think for some reason Blinky won? I don't know. I'm pretty sure Consus won, right? Last year. Anyway, Blinky made it to the final. Either way, put up a good performance. I don't know if you won or lost. I think you lost, but you're still in the same player, obviously. But unfortunately, RC is better. Yeah, I think RC is better. I think RC wins. Unlucky. Because I think RC has the advantage if it goes to map 5 and NPC. I think he has the advantage. And I don't think RC is bad enough, obviously, at moving, like, to be a severe disadvantage. Like, he's good. he's really good at moving still. And then PZ. And obviously Blinky is really good at moving and then PZ, but I just think RC takes it for me. I think he's just the better all-rounded player that if it does go to a game 5, it will really favour RC. Obviously that doesn't stop Blinky from 3-0ing or 3-1ing or whatever, but yeah, I'm backing RC on this one, I think. For the semi-final 2, we have Bag versus MK. Definitely some bias again. I've got Bag winning this one. Wouldn't be surprised if it was MK winning. But to be honest, I didn't want an All-American final. I said it. I didn't want it. So I didn't give it. I got Bag winning this one. I mean, and that's not the only reason why I picked Bag to beat MK. I also think Bag is an insane player. I think he can definitely make it to the final. But I also think MK is good enough too. Again, definitely probably some recency bias involved everywhere because 3 out of 4 of the semi-finalists all qualified in the last, well, not last 2, but in the last 3 wildcards. It's definitely some bias, 100%. But that's my prediction. I got Bag beating MK. I think that's going to be an absolute banger though if it does happen. And then that would mean our grand final would be Bag versus RC. And winning the whole thing, winning the World Cup, I predict the winner will be Bag. Kinda. My heart says Bag. My brain says RC. I think RC would probably win. I think RC would probably win. But I don't want to say Bag because bias. So I said Bag. But if I'm being real, it's probably RC. But I'm going Bag. I'm backing him. Bag all the way. He's in his bag. He's winning. He's winning it all. He's doing it. He's going the whole way. Roast me all you like. But I've guessed for most of these. Yeah, that's my prediction. Unlucky.